recently been reading a book called Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman. And it was wrote in 1985 and it's largely directed at television and the titillating new media. And in the book, he contrasts Orwell's 1984 with Huxley's Brave New World. And I'll read you some of the introduction. He says, Orwell feared those who would ban books. Huxley feared that there'd be no reason to ban a book, for there'd be no one around who wanted to read one. Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information. Huxley feared those who would give us so much would be reduced to passivity and egoism. Orwell feared that the truth would be concealed from us. Huxley feared that the truth would be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. Orwell feared that we become a captive culture. Huxley feared that we become a trivial culture, preoccupied with some equivalent of the feelies, the orgy-porgy, the centrifugal bumble puppy. As Huxley remarked in Brave New World Revisited, the civil libertarians and rationalists who, ever alert to oppose tyranny, fail to take into account man's almost infinite appetite for distractions. In 1984, Huxley added, people are controlled by inflicting pain. In Brave New World, people are controlled by inflicting pleasure. In short, what Orwell feared was that what we hate will ruin us. What Huxley feared is that what we love will ruin us. And I think in the book, the way that these are contrasted as a sort of dichotomy of two different opposing worlds, well, it is great, but I think also it can be looked at as a succession. And I think the position we find ourselves in now with, I've seen the hashtag COVID 1984 and people concerned about the overreaching of government, whether you believe in the reasons or not. But I think the dangerous thing was that these were a successive series of worlds, succession of worlds, is that maybe we've been living in Brave New World for so long and we've become disenfranchised from communities and we've traded in genuine social interactions with likes and online comments and things like that. And I think we have become very distracted and, people maybe don't read as much as they used to or go to community events or, things like that. And everything's been replaced with, especially since lockdown, then people sort of had really no choice but to catch up with people online and things. But I think the world we lived in before this one, this Brave New World, has left us unequipped to deal with the potential of 1984, of tyranny. We're so split apart and polarized online now that the danger is that we have become so distracted. As Postman says in that introduction, there'd be no reason to ban a book because there'd be no one around who wanted to read one. And we are distracted, we're easily distracted in the world since, maybe since television, but certainly since the iPhone has become even more distractible. We can entertain ourselves endlessly for days at home, and yet I think that there's like a nagging void which grows within us, and I felt it. And so to summarize my point on this one is I think that the position we find ourselves in now is a concerning one because being through this sort of Brave New World and being titillated and distracted potentially left us vulnerable to tyranny and vulnerable to the style of world encapsulated in 1984. Anyway, on a personal note, I've sort of ran away from all that, I hope, and I've come up to right near a place called Rannoch Station in the middle of Scotland. I'm staying in this little hut with no internet, and all I brought with me is a shitload of cameras. So I brought my Leica M6 film camera and this beast, which is an RB67 medium format camera. It's heavy as hell. I tried to take this hiking through the forest the other day. After about 20 minutes, I turned back. It's not a camera you go hiking with. So I haven't really taken that many photos actually. So it's been raining quite a bit and I didn't want to get these wet. But also, I like taking photos where there's some sunlight and, you know, the light, where the light plays interestingly on things. And yeah, although I thought some of the photos, especially looking out now, have a view of mist on the mountains and the rolling hills coming up. It's a photo that would do well on Instagram, but I just feel like if I came out here to get away from all that and then started to take photos because they'd look good on Instagram, then I'd kind of miss the point. So I haven't really taken that many. I've put some up, the ones I have taken, and I brought my drone as well, so I've got a couple of drone shots and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to come away because I felt within myself on the points that I've been talking about before that I haven't really been reading as much, anywhere near as much as I used to. And I've just been gorging on YouTube videos primarily, and Netflix, and literally gorging on Domino's and Mackey's and stuff like that. So I wanted to come out, and I brought Crime and Punishment with me, which is not an enjoyable read. Perhaps you've enjoyed it, but I don't know why he has to give the characters so many different names. But, you know, my job has been, I'm going to dedicate myself to a really hard book that potentially I don't even enjoy and get through it. And I'm also doing a fast out here. So this is day 3 of the fast. So last night, about 5 o'clock or something like that, it all kind of came to a head where I was missing the internet and I wanted to get online. I had GPRS on my phone and I'm moving around the little hut, and I was hungry, I wanted to eat as well. But I just put some music on, I had a little dance like a nut job in the middle of nowhere to the Queens of the Stone Age. And then I felt better after that. And then it's been okay. So I carried on reading all last night until I went to bed, had a nice sleep. But I think today I'm gonna go home now. So I had booked an extra day, but I think what I've come out to do has been done. I haven't finished Crime and Punishment yet. I think I'm about 70% through it, but I will finish it. And I can feel that now that I've kind of created a little bit of space between myself and the internet and this brave new world, where I can control now, that I'll hopefully control my usage of the brave new world or the internet a little bit better. And I feel that I'm going to eat a little bit more wholesomely. Now I've created this little space between the incessant gorging on shit food, and I can consume or have my attention consumed a little bit better now. And hopefully I'll read a lot more and spend less time on the internet. So yeah, but if you do want to come anywhere, I really recommend to get away. This is a nice area. So I've got about a 6-hour drive back. So hopefully that gives me a little bit of space for reflection as well. And yeah, that's it.